All right, guys, so we are going to write notes on 6.1, and that's on percents and decimals. If the video is going too fast, just tell me in the chat that we're going too fast, and I will go ahead and pause. So what you learned before is very important here, because what I'm going to teach you is going to build upon what you learned in 6th grade math. So in 6th grade math, you learned about writing a percentage as a fraction in simplest form. So let's say you're given a shaded box. So let's say that there are 10 rectangles in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I think there are 10 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. And let's say that 40% is shaded in. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 40% is shaded in. 40% out of 100, right? 40 out of 100. We could also say that that's 40 out of 100, or we can say that's 4 out of 10 rectangles that are shaded in. But this fraction is not in simplified form. We could still simplify this fraction. Well, the number 2 divides 4, and the number 2 divides 10. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So we could say that 40% written as a fraction equals 2/5 in simplified form. So I'm going to just draw a little line here. We're still going to call back to recall what you guys learned in 6th grade. So in 6th grade, you guys learned how to write a percent as a fraction or a mixed number. So a percent as a fraction. It could be an improper fraction. And or a mixed number. I'll remind you guys what that means right now. And if you ever can't read my writing, please tell me in the chat and I will pause the video, erase, and rewrite. Sometimes my writing is even sloppier with the Apple Pencil. Okay, so let's work on some of these. I'm going to give you like 3 examples, and I'm going to write them in the color white so that I can actually do the work in a different color. So let's say we want to write 16% as a fraction. 16%. Well, 16% written as a fraction, can you guys tell me in the chat what 16% written as a fraction, what would that look like? So I just want to remind you guys that 16% means 16 cents of every 100 cents. So 16% of every 100. 16 out of 100. That's how you say 16%. That's how you represent it as a fraction. 16 out of 100. Now, if you were to reduce that, there is a number that divides 16 and there's a number that divides 100. You can start with dividing by 2. If they're even numbers, you can divide both by 2 until you can't anymore. So I can divide by 2 and I will get 8 over 50. And then I can keep dividing by 2 because those are both even numbers. And then I get 8 divided by 2 is 4. 50 divided by 2 is 25. And look, I can't divide by 2 anymore because I got an odd number. So it seems like, yep, this is done. It's simplified form. One of you guys told me in the chat, you could just divide by 4 at the beginning. Yes, I can. But sometimes your brain, it plays tricks on us, right? And you can't remember, oh, 4 goes into 16 and 4 goes into 100. 4 goes into 16 4 times. 4 goes into 100 25 times. Do you see how you get the same answer regardless? You just do one extra step at the beginning. But that's okay. So 16% written as a fraction is actually 4 25th. All right, I'm going to give you one more example. Hopefully you guys can do this one without me holding your hand. So again, I'm going to write it in white. So 85% written as a fraction. Can you tell me in the chat what that is? All right, so I got a variety of answers in the chat. We're going to see which one is correct. So 85% written as a fraction. Hopefully you know that that's 85 hundredths, 85 out of 100, 85 cents out of 100. So if I were to write that as a fraction, I have 85 out of 100. Now, I know for a fact that I can divide 5 into both of those because the numerator ends with the number 5 and the denominator ends with a double 0. So I know that 85 is divisible by 5 and 100 is divisible by 5. So let's go ahead and divide both of those by 5. I could potentially divide them by another number after I divide by 5, but I think this is going to get us to our simplest form. So 85 divided by 5, you can just start counting like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So that's 10. 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85. So I use my fingers. I know you guys can't see them, but I got 17. 17 times 5 is 85. So I got that correctly. Now 100 divided by 5. I know that if I'm thinking of money and I have $100 and I have 5 bills, that's going to be 5 $20 bills. So anytime money can relate to our math, I'm always going to bring up money. So the simplified form is 17 20ths. And I can't reduce that anymore because 17 is a prime number. It's already at its simplest form. 17 is. So I can't do anything anymore. So 85% written as a fraction is 17 20ths. 17 20ths. So that means for like every $20, you're getting 75. I'm sorry. If it's like, let's say you're going to buy a, I don't know, like some really nice shoes and you get them 85% off. That is a huge discount. That means you're going to get $17 off of every $20 for that shoe. So that's a significant discount. You're going to end up paying like $15 for a $100 pair of shoes if it's 85% off and they're $100. So, yeah. All right, so this is stuff that you would have learned as a 6th grader. And if you didn't learn this as a 6th grader, hopefully you master it now in 7th grade because it's very similar. There's actually one more thing, so I'm just going to like dot this line. There's one more thing. You guys were asked to write fractions into percents. Write fractions into percents. So let's say you have 3 over 25. And they want you to write that as a percentage. Well, you could have 100 as the denominator, and then whatever you have on the top, that's going to be your percentage. So in 6th grade, they taught you kind of like the basics of this. They taught you, okay, what do you need to multiply to 25 to get you 100? Can you guys tell me in the chat, what do I need to multiply to 25 to get me 100? 25 times what is 100? 25 times 4. Thank you. So if I multiply my denominator by 4, I want to multiply my numerator by the same number because it's like another version of 1 whole. 25 times 4 is 100. 3 times 4 is what? 3 times 4 is 12. So if you were going to convert this into a percentage, what's the percentage? Look at your fraction now. What's the percentage? Can you guys tell me in the chat? What's the percentage? Now that you have, there you go. Yeah, you guys get it. So it's 12%. Now that you have a fraction with 100 as the denominator, you can just look at the numerator and say, oh yeah, that's going to be 12%. Pretty cool. All right, so now the 7th grade stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and just draw my line a little bit and then zoom in. So this is the 7th grade curriculum now. And you might have already learned this, but we're categorizing it as 7th grade stuff. So we have how to write percents into decimals. So I'm going to go over percents into decimals. And then I'm also going to go over how to convert decimals into percent. So the other way around. So how to convert percents into decimals and how to convert decimals into percents. So I'm not going to have you write this entire thing down. Just listen to me. So if you have 23% and you want to write it as a decimal, you can remove the percentage symbol and you can just do 23 divided by 100. You could do that. Now 100 goes into 23 0 times. Put a decimal. 100 goes into 230 2 times. 2 times 100 is 200. 230 minus 200 is 30. Bring down a 0. 100 goes into 300 3 times. So if you divide that, you get 0.23 from 23%. Or you can just drop the percentage. You can drop the percentage and move this decimal place 2 places to the left. So you don't have to do this division every time. You could just know that what's going to end up happening is it's 23 out of 100, 23 cents out of every 100 cents. So 23 out of 100, and you know that that's 0.23. Now you could use the same thing backwards for decimals into percents. So let's say you're given 0.47. If you want the percentage, you can say that that's 47 hundredths. 47 hundredths. Or you can actually multiply. Instead of dividing, you multiply. So you multiply 0.47 times 100. I truthfully do not want to sit here and do this. Do you guys want me to write it out? Yes or no? All right, you guys can write it in a calculator. You're going to see that it's 47.00. If you multiply it all out, you're going to end up getting like all this work. And you end up getting 47.00 or just 47. You multiply by 100. Or if you see 0.47, you can move the decimal place 2 places to the right and then put a percentage symbol. So 47%. You can also say this is 47 hundredths. So that's going to be 47%. 47%. All right, so this next question is going to involve decimals, percents, and fractions. But don't be alarmed. I think you guys will understand it a lot more with the real world example. So we're going to say that this is a real world example. And let's say on a math test, please write this down. On a math test, you get 92 out of 100 points correct. Which of the following, and I'm going to write the question in yellow. Which of the following, my goodness, my writing is so sloppy, is not a way of expressing 92 out of 100? So which of the following is not a way of expressing 92 out of 100? And I'm going to give you the multiple choice questions. So the multiple choice ones are A, B, C, and D. And A is 23 out of 25. B is 92%. C is 17 out of 20. And D is 92 hundredths, or 0.92. So several of you indicated how you write 92 out of 100 as a fraction, as a decimal, or as a percentage. Good job. So 92 out of 100 can be written as a fraction like this, 92 out of 100. Now, the question is asking which one is not a way of expressing 92 out of 100. Which one is not? So I know that 92 out of 100, if I convert that into a percentage, that's 92%. And if I convert that into a decimal, I just have to move this, I just have to cancel not cancel, but I just get rid of the percentage symbol, move this 2 places, and I get 0.92. Right? 92 hundredths. So 92%, that's a correct way of expressing it. So in order to answer the question, I have to find the one that's not equal to 92 out of 100. I know that this is the same as 0.92, so that one is equal as well. So now it's just between A and C. So 92 out of 100, I can actually reduce. And remember I taught you, if they're even numbers, just divide by 2. You can divide by 2 again and again until you get a prime number or an odd number. 92 divided by 2 is 46. And again, if you need to use a calculator, that's fine. 100 divided by 2 is 50. Now I can divide by 2 again. I'm going to divide by 2 again. 46 divided by 2 is 23. 50 divided by 2 is 25. Oh, so another way of expressing 92% is 23 over 25. That's another way. So A is an actual way of expressing 92 hundredths. So 17 out of 20, this is the one that's not a way. This is not a way of expressing 92 hundredths. So the correct answer is C, because that's not a way of writing 92 out of 100. Okay.